Hey everyone, welcome back to I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. I'm Slim.
I'm Black.
I'm Chris.
It's been a while, but we back. We back.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, we back. We are back. So, honestly, we did have did 2 episodes that Black wasn't able to make it to. It's all good though. Like I told you, I said he was coming back. There was no need for anybody to worry. So this episode, I love these special episodes, and I love having our guest on. And My wife and my daughter told me, so I knew this already, but my wife and my daughter gave me this excellent idea, so I can't take credit for this one. Uh, Last week was International Women's Day. This is Women's History Month. And because of the month, they gave me the idea of having a discussion about powerful women in comics and video games. And of course, because of that, I just couldn't have just us three dudes talking about females, and just going on there. So I needed someone who I feel is a very powerful female. I had to ask my cousin Ruby to come back. Ruby, say what's up to everybody.
What up, everybody? It's Itsrubierose here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming back. I am so excited to have you on this episode.
I'm excited to be back.
Yes. And again, to actually talk about powerful females, because we've actually had discussions. We haven't had like specific discussions about females, but some of our discussions about comics and different shows have kind of leaned to that way about different powerful female characters. So I'm excited to have this episode about powerful women because there are so many different powerful women in in the universes, like the comic universe and video game universe, and a lot of them don't get their due credit. There are a lot that do get credit: Storm, Wonder Woman, Vixen, all of them. They do get their credit, but then there's others that don't. So I do want us to kind of go into today to talk about some of the ones that actually that we like, but I want us to go into a little bit of detail of one specific female character that speaks to us. So, has any of y'all kind of noticed how the female persona in video games, comics, and everything has kind of switched over the years, right? Have y'all noticed that? Like
Oh, yeah.
it's definitely females have kind of just gone from cutesy sidekicks and just kind of being there to kind of be like a visually pleasing entity to badass heroines of their own story. And I've said that incorrectly because my mouth is like all tongue tied right now, but they have taken over. I mean, like even that comic book that I talk about a lot, the Tuskegee Heirs, the leader of the group is the female. That is so dope to me, and that's not one of the females I picked, but I had to bring that up because, like, even in independent comics now, you're seeing more and more female lead characters, and that's dope. In video games, you have so many different video games that has powerful, very powerful female characters. There was a lot back in the days. One of the games I used to love to play was Primal. They had great. It was for the PlayStation 2, and they had a great female lead in that game. But there's been many other games. Can y'all guess who the first female video game character is?
Samus.
You're saying Samus.
Miss Pac-Man.
She's saying Miss Pac-Man. Chris, what do you say?
Yeah, it's I think just because Miss Pac-Man definitely came out first. So
Right, exactly. So y'all are partially both correct. So now Miss Pac-Man is the very first female protagonist in a commercial video game. Came out in 1981. However, Samus Aran, and I might be saying her last name incorrectly,
No,
but
that's right.
Samus from Metroid in 1986 is cited the first playable female character in a mainstream video game.
wow.
Because Miss Pac-Man is actually the sequel to Pac-Man, of course, So 5 years later, Miss Pac-Man came out, and we've come a long way from Miss Pac-Man. I said Miss Pac-Man, I'm sorry. 5 years later after Miss Pac-Man, Samus came out in Metroid, and we've come a long way since Miss Pac-Man and Samus.
I remember that is one of my earliest best video game surprises when I found out that Samus was a female, because I remember I finished it because the ending you got kind of, or what she was wearing at the end depended on how fast you finished the game,
Mm-hmm.
unless you use the cheat code Justin Bailey.
Yeah.
And you got her in the various suit. But yeah, I just did finish it in enough time to have her helmet come off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and when the helmet came off and I saw the long, actually I think it was the full suit, but I think it flashed and went back into the suit. And then, and I just got, I was just like, oh, wow. I was like, I just thought that was mad cool that it was a female the whole time.
I didn't know, just real quick, Slim, I didn't know she was a female until I beat Super Metroid. I had no idea.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's-
So. Go ahead, Ruby. What are you about to say?
I was gonna say I knew off jump before the reveal. I remember arguing with a lot of my guy friends. They're like, "Look at her. The name is Samus. That's a guy's name. That's a guy's name." And I'm like, I understand what you guys are saying, but look at the build. Unless this is like a Olympian track star because they have those slim type of bodies.
Right.
This is a woman.
She's built like a woman.
I didn't even have
funny.
the game. I didn't have the game. I remember playing it at my local arcade, but you're at the arcade, you can't finish it.
Mhm.
And I just kept telling my friends, no, finish the game. I'm gonna guarantee you it's a woman. And a lot of them would come back to me and they're like, how did you know? And I was like, it's the build of the character.
Right.
The shoulder pads, I'm pretty sure threw off a lot of guys. It's like, no, those are like football shoulder pads right there.
For real. Joe threw me off.
So it's funny. I don't remember. Let's see. So it came out in 86, and we were in middle school by the time most people that I know finished it. So I never finished it, and I only actually remember only playing it for like maybe just a little bit. But I remember specifically, it was two of our friends, Donald and Brian Black. I don't know if you remember them, Donald and Brian.
I remember.
Yeah. I believe we all had that conversation, and they basically spoiled it for me because after they had beat it, whatever, and they were talking about it, and I want to say it was either in class or in the lunchroom, but they was like, "Did you know she was a girl the whole time?" And they were just going off and talking about it. It was hilarious, dude.
It's a
And
big
I was
deal.
like, yeah, and I was like, really? She's a girl? I was like, he's a she. It was like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
talking about it as a kid, you weren't sure. And the funniest part about it is, in the Metroid instruction manual, it refers to Samus as if she were a male to obscure the real sex for the surprise reveal. So they kind of actually led people down that line, even though who really read their Nintendo instruction manuals?
Nope.
Because even now to this day, so many people are just like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know that you could control the duck with a second controller."
Oh, I was that nerd.
Yeah, okay. Well, see, I didn't learn that until I was like in my 30s. So
I
you go.
just opened the box and played. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I
exactly.
was one of those guys.
Exactly. So
Well, usually I read them while I was waiting to get on the controller next for my brothers.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. When you have brothers, that definitely makes sense. So, but female, the first lady of fighting games. Who is it?
Ooh. Chun-Li.
Chun-Li.
Yeah, I was
first
about to say
lady
you
of
said the
fighting
first lady of fighting
games.
games. Yeah, Chun-Li.
Yeah. Because she started it all. She's the first playable character and first playable female character in a fighting game, and of course, everybody like she.
It's the
Okay.
thighs.
Well, yeah, that too. But
I mean,
everybody liked playing her at least one time because she was easy to play with, and she could actually do some damage. She could do some heavy damage
Yeah.
if you played with her right. If you did it right, especially that spinning side kick.
and she could defy gravity. That damn spinning sidekick.
Yeah,
And
and then she did that. Was it the feather kick? Is that what it was called? The flutter kick,
Yep.
flutter kick or
Yeah.
whatever.
Butter kick.
Man,
That was killer.
yeah.
I used to be really cheap on Street Fighter and I'd play as Baka, but anytime somebody hopped on Chun-Li, I'm like, I'm out. You won. I'm gonna forfeit the game already. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna dodge all my electric abilities. Point.
So and this is the funniest part is so doing that because of like people picking Chun-Li, I had to actually learn to play other
Mm-hmm.
characters, and I got to a point where I could play most. I think there was only like maybe 3 characters I couldn't play in Street Fighter, and I got to a point where I could play most of the characters. It might have been 3, it might have been less than that, because I think it was Vega was definitely one, um, but there was like 1 or 2 others that I just couldn't because they were so clunky to work with. But I even like learned to play with Zangief.
Mm.
So, but Chun-Li is the main reason why I had to learn to play with other characters, because anytime someone picked Chun-Li, you know you was gonna get your butt whooped. You know it was coming.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
that kick was the windmilling of fighting games
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah,
because you
for
weren't
sure.
it.
Yeah,
There was no defense against it.
yeah, for real. And it's just it's crazy to see how this is where they started out with, and now to see all these different characters, all these major female characters, and some of them don't even have to be that strong in quotation marks here, because they're very strong and they're very powerful, but they're not like heavy built females. Look at Aloy from I always say this
Horizon.
incorrectly. I need to Zero Dawn Horizon, yes.
Mm.
So or Horizon Forbidden West. There you go. That's the one I know. The second one I can say correctly. But look at her. Look at all these other characters. I mean, even God of War, right? In God of War, you play with Freya at one point. Well, I don't think you actually play as her, but she actually joins you, and she is like a just the character herself is just amazing, to play with. So, um, over this time, all these characters have evolved, and they've becoming so much stronger, and it's due to the well, let me say it like this, because I believe it's due to like shining more light on the different things that women have done, women behind the scenes in gaming, women, in front, and just bringing out so much, and doing so much for us. Um, what are y'all thoughts about that?
I'm really happy about it. Growing up, I in specifically video games,
Hmm.
I gravitated towards a lot of the male characters, not too many of the female characters. Was big into fighting games, so the classics. Um, and as time has gone on, there has definitely been more female characters to play as.
Hmm.
Um, I used to play Overwatch. I've hopped off of that because of Marvel's Rivals. But
I need
when
to get back on that.
Overwatch came out, when they first launched Overwatch, it had one of the biggest rosters of female characters to pick from. And what I really loved about it is the different body types and the different attributes of all the women. You had different ethnicities. What is it? Sombra represents Mexico, South American culture. You had May, who was a little chubby Chinese girl, super cute, but also deadly. Like I
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
snipe people with her missile fire icicles. Um, you have Farah, who is taking up the mantle after her mother, who was a sniper,
Hmm.
and she's hitting you with rockets in the air. And my all-time favorite was a tank character named Zarya. I loved her. She's definitely the definition of a muscle mommy. She is just built. She can bench press you. She had some of the funniest voice lines with some of the bigger characters. It's like, I'll arm wrestle you any day. I'll fight a bear any day. And it's just like, in Mother Russia, we don't have puny little guns. And it's I just love it.
Oh wow, that's right. See, and I've never played Overwatch, but that sounds so dope. That
for
really sounds
for a,
dope.
for a person like me, I was really excited for the roster, and the roster just grew as time went on. They just kept adding and adding more diversity, more different characters from different cultures. Like the cultural aspect and the fact that all these women characters are badasses, I was completely in love.
Mm.
I
I mean, honestly, for them to be like so prominent in the game, of course you can't help but being in love. I mean, like
right.
it's just so big, and that's actually so dope to actually have that. because representation does matter, and whether it's females, because I'm about to say males, whether it's females or your race,
Mm-hmm.
for people. Okay, wait. Let me say this correctly because I don't want people to come for me. For so many people to be offended by people wanting to see representation, seeing it online and seeing like tears and seeing like little girls so happy when they saw Princess Tiana or when they saw Chloe Bailey, sorry, Halle Bailey, not Chloe. When they saw Halle as the Little Mermaid, seeing all of those little girls seeing those trailers, that's why representation mattered.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Did you
for
see the
sure.
video of her son seeing her and
yeah, I
recognizing
did. That
her?
just came out
Oh,
this week. Yeah, that was actually pretty cute. That was really cute. Um, so let
Yeah.
me ask y'all though. So, what was you about to say, Black?
No, I was gonna say that my first experience with a very strong female character
Mm-hmm.
was Sigourney Weaver in Aliens, and how she
Dude,
was in Aliens, and how she
dude.
was it was it
Oh
was
my
it was the
god,
baddest. I'm like, well, I didn't know
dude.
women go hard like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, dude, dude.
Because she won't
Okay,
no joke.
yo, dude. Sigourney Weaver, an Alien, and Linda Hamilton in
Yes. Yep.
Terminator.
Terminator. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator 2. I will give it to her, give it more to her for Terminator 2 than
Mm-hmm.
Terminator. She was bad in Terminator. She was dope in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And when she did when she ended up coming back for that last Terminator one with the other female, I can't remember
Yeah.
what
Yeah. The young
that one was
girl.
Dark
called.
Fate.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Dark
Dark
Fate. When
Fate.
she could,
Yeah.
yeah, when she came back in Dark Fate, man, she was Diesel. She's like
Oh,
rocked it. But
dude.
like that scene when she was doing those pull ups in
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah, you
in
talking
the
about Terminator 2? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah.
But her and Sigourney Weaver, they actually they brought like that was another thing that actually kind of propelled women. That really
Oh,
propelled
for
women.
sure.
Yeah.
I
So
think even though
mhm.
those movies are not considered horror movies, it did spawn a genre of horror movies of the final girl. And the final
Mm-hmm.
girl is a term of the final survivor. She's not
Yeah,
a damsel in distress. She's been through this
Right.
horrible thing, but she still survives whatever slasher, monster, or whatever is following
like
her.
Sydney and
Yep.
Scream.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I love that. Uh
So let me ask y'all this though. And what do y'all think about the rise of female antiheroes? Like, okay, like Harley Quinn or Lady Shiva. Black, you may not know who Lady Shiva is, do you?
Lady Shiva, no.
Yeah, okay. She's a DC character.
Mm.
But you know of Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know
Of course.
yeah, and you know Talia al Ghul. You know her?
Yeah, that's Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
and we all
So
know about Amanda Waller.
yeah, okay, and there you go, Amanda Waller. And it's so funny. I'm going for all these DC characters. Okay, what's the Snow Queen's name in Marvel? What's the Snow Queen? Is it Snow Queen? Is
Isn't
it
it the
Emma
white?
Uh,
Frost.
Isn't it the White Queen?
Emma Frost. Or
Emma Frost?
Emma
Emma
Frost.
Frost.
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
White
Yeah,
Queen. Yeah,
Emma
that's the White
Frost.
Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of these anti-hero females, what do you think about those? Because actually, Emma Frost is not. She's a villain,
Yeah.
but I consider her more of an anti-hero than a villain.
Yeah,
She
she's an
Because
anti-hero.
definitely is,
I
especially in
consider
recent
her an
years.
opportunist. If the
Yeah.
opportunity benefits her,
yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what do y'all think? Everybody kind of give me a quick rundown. What do y'all think about that though? Like how now they're having more anti-hero females as well. Like, cuz there was a certain rise in anti-hero males. And actually everyone our next show is actually going to be about villains. We're going to do that next. So please listen out for that. But because we may even talk about some of these female villains in here. But um, what do y'all think about they're basically trying to bring up the actual anti-hero female? Like they're just evil enough.
I think it was just like with Harley Quinn. If you look at like the portrayal in the Batman animated series, which is where she came from, she
Mhm.
was a little bit abused pretty much by the Joker in that series. And so
Not a little
Yeah.
bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
For
yeah.
real.
she was
She
abused by the
she
Joker.
basically
So
got Stockholm syndrome
yeah,
for real.
so
Yeah,
it
real
was
talk.
yeah, so the evolution of that character was just great to watch. Has been great to
Mhm.
watch.
Mhm.
Even the way and I roll hard for the last Suicide Squad movie. I love that movie to death.
Me
But
too.
just the way they portrayed her in that, where I mean, they didn't shame her for enjoying sex. They she went hard as everybody else,
Yep.
and, and
Yep.
she was getting away from that in love with Puddin stage.
Yeah, I love that. I love in the second Suicide Squad movie. She saved herself. I
Yeah,
Yep.
love that. I love that.
So, and oh, I can go back.
Yeah, right.
that scene actually warms my heart. And I was watching a clip from it the other day where they were climbing up the wall and she's
Yeah.
already standing there.
That was
So smart.
that was too perfect. So before we actually get into our favorites, let me ask y'all, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and start with Ruby. Um, what traits do you feel make a great female character? Tell me to you what makes a great female character.
Are we talking video games, comic books? What are we talking about here?
Your choice.
My choice. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the comic book realm. And for me, growing up, I read a lot of manga. I
Mhm.
read a lot of Magical Girl, and the OG Magical Girl, I think y'all already know where I'm going with this, is Sailor Moon,
Okay, okay.
Usagi, Serena,
Yep.
whichever version of it you watched. Um, the attributes I loved were the fact that this person was a superhero at a very young age, like 16 years old. But besides saving the world, her biggest things that she cared about were her friends and her family. Like, she was facing villains that were like, I'm going to destroy the entire world and there will be nothing left. Ha 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 ha. But the second her friends were in danger, the second her family was in danger, the second her true love was in danger, that's when it was like, I need to put all this fear aside and come to the rescue. She never was like, I'm not scared. Like the very first pilot episode, I am a crybaby. I should not be doing this. I thought this was all going to be fun and magical. I'm scared. But as
Yeah,
soon as her friends were in trouble, she's like, no, I have to get up. I have
that's
to get up.
dope.
I have to do something.
That is
So
dope.
that attribute of you can be a hero and you can be afraid of the dangers that are ahead of you, but also realize that that fear can empower you to care about people. And definitely in current events and times, we need that. We need to know that in the state of fear, the things that are important to us, family, community, our loved ones, that's the thing that's going to drive us to better.
See how that- that's so funny because you making what I was thinking in my head you just blew that out the water. But anyway, that
Well,
was too deep. That was too deep.
I'm
Go
so
on.
sorry because
No,
like
you're good. You're good.
growing up, a lot
No.
of my friends were watching Dragon Ball Z, and I did too. Like I was
Mhm.
like, "Ooh, this is so cool! Martial arts, fighting, training montages, like all that was cool." But then Sailor Moon came out, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "This is really, really interesting to me. This is a girl who's supposed to be ditzy. She's supposed to be a normal teenager, and now she
Mhm.
has the fate of the universe on her shoulders."
Yeah.
No
And
I want to
doubt.
put a pin in Dragon Ball Z and come back to it in a minute, but
yeah,
yeah, keep going. Keep going.
no, just saying that like when the show started off, it's like, oh man, this is a bad baddie. But then as the seasons went on, it's like this girl can't get a break.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Constant, constant. So, fellas, let's go with Black. Black, tell me what qualities do you think makes a strong female character?
What qualities? Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of like piggyback off Ruby Rose and stick with manga, because this particular character, Casca, is the personification of a strong female character to me. Uh, if you know anything about Berserk, I don't know if you do, Ruby Rose, but Casca was traumatized. She was taken from her family by this aristocrat, but the aristocrat didn't want her to be he wanted her to be a servant, but in other ways too. And I'm
Mhm.
going a little dark here, but you get what I'm saying.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
And
yeah.
and she was a young girl, so he attempted to do what he do, but Griffith ended up saving her. and through Griffith, she learned how to become strong, and she became a warrior. And in that, she she rose to the ranks of the Band of the Hawk. She was the second in command. You know,
Yeah.
she was a very powerful character in my opinion. She was larger than life. In that manga, in my opinion. She just was the personification of a very strong woman during medieval time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And just really quick, I want to go ahead and do plug that episode. We got the episode Going Berserk. I think is that was it what it was called, Going Berserk, or yep,
Was that?
Going Berserk episode.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It was episode
Hmm.
10 season 1. So
Yep.
episode 10 season 1, go back and listen because Black does go more into the manga Berserk. So but I do remember you talking about that character as well. When you said, as soon as you said Casca, I was like, oh yeah, he's talking about Berserk. So I haven't gotten to that manga yet, but I do remember you talking about that. So yes, personification of just the actual strength that a woman truly has, for real. So Chris,
Mm.
what about you? What traits and characteristics do you think make a great female character, video games or comics?
Really, as far as this one went, I was going to go with probably the female character I've spent the most time with in recent years, has been Emily Caldwin from the Dishonored series, because the character goes from being a child in the first game
Mhm.
to a princess who is running this kingdom in the second kingdom, who has her kingdom taken away. She is the victim of a coup, and basically the whole second game is about her taking her kingdom back from the people who have taken it from her. But in the first game, Emily's a child, and the game plays out differently depending on how you play it. And the world actually changes differently depending on how you play it. Even in the second game, that happens. In the first game, you don't play her, but you have to rescue her because you're playing her father. But depending on your actions, the world gets worse or it gets better depending on your actions. And Emily, as a character, responds to that world and the things that happen to her, and everything from the way that she talks to her drawings, which become, if you play the game more violently, she eventually starts to show, signs of more violence. Oh, I forgot to mention the most important part is she sees her mother murdered right in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to deal with that, and the fact that that after her, like I said, the character, she changes as a character depending on how you play the game. Even in the second game, the world responds differently as you get to play as her. But not only does the world respond differently to her, but she responds differently to the world. If she strikes out with more violent, all of a sudden her rhetoric in the story becomes more violent, more vengeful, and more, more I'm going to punish everybody by the time this is all over. And, depending on like how you decide to handle her trauma, and, and how you decide to play or not so much how you handle her trauma, but how you play the game, she actually can evolve into this, where in the end, when she gets her kingdom, it's no spoiler that she gets her kingdom back, depending on, but the type of ruler she becomes in the end depends on how you actually play her,
Oh,
or
okay.
and the choices you make. And so, just the fact that how, and I don't want to seem like, just as a male, that I'm projecting, onto her, but just because her story plays out, it's Emily, without a doubt, it's Emily's story, even if when you're playing as her father. But yeah, basically though, the way that she deals with, I don't want to give away too many spoilers either, deals with the trauma that she goes through. Like I said, she has the choices of being benevolent or vengeful. And so just the fact that she becomes an extremely powerful character, no matter which path you choose.
Okay. Okay. So basically you're saying that some of the traits and qualities is that the choices that she makes, and how she handles those choices and deals with those choices.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, and even because, and I really chose her because it's not so much that no matter which path she goes down, I'm kind of down for it, because either way she fights, and the character never gives up. And like I said, she has to witness this childhood trauma and then go on. And even the inner monologues that you get to hear her say as the character in the game and how she develops mentally
Mhm.
based on on the actions of the character in the game can be very cathartic. And even the way that she handles the people who she has to deal with, no matter which path you choose, she's going at them hard and she's letting them know you're not taking from me, and I'm not, and I'm not going to fight you back with everything I've got.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty good.
Um.
Hey, Slim.
Yeah.
One more thing, real quick,
Mhm.
because I forgot to mention it with Casca.
Mhm.
Um, the point where I felt like she became powerful. Now, I
Mhm.
said she got saved by Griffith, but she didn't exactly get saved by Griffith. It went down like this. He ended up slicing the ear of the aristocrat,
Mhm.
and he kind of got off Casca. And you thought that at that point that he was going to fully save her by killing the dude, but he didn't. What he did was he threw the sword to the ground, and he looked at Casca and he said, "If you have something to protect, then pick up the sword." So she runs to the sword. So does the aristocrat. She grabs it before he does. She stabs him, or he falls
Oh,
on the sword.
right.
And that's when I knew, okay, she's going to be powerful. She made a choice, and I just had to add that in there because I didn't really go into detail of how she got,
Right. Yeah. She took
you
the
know,
power herself.
yeah.
Right. Right. So, so I'm guessing that everybody basically already named their choice, their number one choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, but so in my thoughts, where what makes a strong female character, and then I'll go into my choice here. But I do want to get y'all's list as other characters that y'all find, without going into so much detail. I think what makes a strong female character is to be able to show the femininity without being a stereotype,
Mhm.
to actually create her own thing. And when you're playing this character, when you're reading this character, you're not saying, "Oh, this is a female character that does this or that." You're like, "Oh, this is a dope character," and that's it. I think that's what makes a great female character, is that you don't notice that she's a female. You don't single her out from the other male characters. A good character. This isn't the one of the characters I'm picking, but a good character for that, for me to basically kind of express what I'm trying to say, is Batgirl, right?
Yeah.
I cannot say Batgirl is a good female character. I say Batgirl is dope. And the reason being is because Barbara Gordon herself, she became Batgirl. She got injured, she became Oracle. And in one of the other stories, I think she's still Oracle right now, but in one of the other stories, she was actually able to come back and be Batgirl again, because she got, like, I think nanites or whatever implanted in her spine. But anyway, Barbara Gordon is an excellent character of what I'm trying to actually say, because again, anytime I read anything from the store, anytime I play any of the games that she's in, I loved playing Gotham Knights as her, because she's she was just excellent. She had, she was smart. She still had the Oracle sense, even though she wasn't Oracle in that game. She still had the Oracle sense, and the way you play that character was so smooth. And she, like, her fighting skills was comparable. It was like they actually amped up her skills. She was really dope. So I believe that that's what makes a great female character, is when you can just say that's a great character. And I believe that's what makes me really love a good female lead. So, since everybody went into their female character, though, I'm gonna actually say the one that I decided to choose was Ahsoka Tano. And the thing about Ahsoka, to me, is it's so funny, because I've got the Lego Ahsoka right here. I can see her lightsaber sticking over my laptop right now.
I'm looking at 3 Ahsoka figures right over top of me.
Yeah. So the thing about Ahsoka, to me, and actually the list that I'm gonna give you of the other ones that I have, they are also very, very strong, very powerful female characters. I've chose 4, 2 from video games, 2 from comics. Um, but the thing about Ahsoka, to me, is the crap that she went through. So how much do you know, Black? How much do you know about Ahsoka?
Not much.
Not much. What about you, Ruby?
Not much.
Not much. Okay. So Ahsoka Tano originally was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan, which is, if you don't know what a Padawan is, basically it's just a apprentice. So Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan, but she had a different relationship than most other Padawans did with their masters. And from the jump, she was just a strong character. And it's so funny because I remember a couple of people, before I even saw the movie, a couple of people I had talked to when they saw the movie that she was introduced in. A couple of people didn't like her. You didn't like her?
No.
You really didn't?
I've never done a 180 on a character so
Oh
hard.
wow! I didn't know.
Because
I don't even remember you telling me that.
That movie was terrible. They took the worst 3 episodes of the entire series and turned them into a movie.
Wow. See,
And
I didn't know you didn't like her. That's hilarious, man.
I was one of the most outspoken ones when she first came out. And now, as I said, I'm looking at 3 figures of her right now.
Yeah. So when she came in, she was for the most part, she was disrespectful. She was constantly questioning him, and she basically challenged him pretty much the exact same way he challenged Obi-Wan. So they were a perfect match. And he made sure that she was able to build herself up, and he made sure that nothing could hurt her. Partially because of his own traumas that he had, but the way he trained her and how intricate everything was that he did is exactly what saved her life. Because this character, and I'm gonna give some light spoilers here, this character went through a special training where she was constantly getting shot at with stunners because he's like, you got to be able to fight from all angles constantly, and that specific training saved her life. It was so dope to watch it in practice, to watch her doing her practice and training with it, and then for it to actually happen to her to escape Order 66. And it was just, oh my gosh, that character, she's truly so dope. And then to go from Padawan to not even a master herself, because what happened was she was pretty much set up and left the Jedi Order. Like she was accused of a crime. Like, what was it? Killing somebody? Yeah. So she was wrongly accused of murder. Once she was accused of murder, she left the Jedi Order, and then even when they told her she could come back, she was like, "I'm not coming back. I don't want to." And then while she did that, while she actually was gone, they needed her to come back. But again, she didn't come back as like a Jedi Padawan or whatever. She was like, "Look, I'm just doing this just because I want to get this guy." She really wanted to get Darth Maul. She really wanted to get Maul, and she got him.
The thing about it, there were signs that she shouldn't quite stay with Anakin because of the way the past that they were going on. But at the same time, everything that he taught her helped save her life when Order 66 came.
Right. She helped out, and I think Rex, Captain Rex, helped her as well. But she did through most of her stuff. She ended up doing for herself once she actually realized Order 66 was happening. And if you think about it, there was Jedi Masters who did not even make it. There was so many Jedi Masters who were murdered by Order 66, and she was able to make it. So yeah, it's such a powerful character. Then later on in other episodes, and again, so I named her. She is in video games. She is in the comics. But again, to me, this is one of the most powerful characters that I've seen in a while. She became a rebel fighter, and she has a code name Fulcrum, and it is so cool because I want to say when didn't she die in the Force or something like that? Something happened to her.
Yeah, that's how she's basically now she's Star Wars' version of Gandalf. So she ended up, matter of fact, and they directly parallel her with Gandalf, where his journey went from Gandalf the Gray to Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
they consider her, matter of fact, when in later years, Ahsoka the White.
Yeah. So yeah, she ended up dying in this
The
in this
Mortis
kind of
trilogy.
space rift
Mhm.
where the force is, it's like a divergence of the force or
No, it
something like
wasn't
that.
that. It was she died. She literally died during the Mortis trilogy, where the son who was the
Yeah, it was
son.
on Mortis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
I'm
So,
sorry. I thought you was talking about the world between worlds.
oh yeah, no. I'm not talking
Sorry.
about the world between worlds, like where you're talking about in the actual Ahsoka
Yeah,
series.
like in the
Yeah,
Ahsoka
no,
series.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about Mortis,
Actually,
where the father, the son, and the daughter was at.
yeah, I thought you. No, actually, I thought you were talking about the one where she and Anakin had their confrontation.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
the one I
no,
thought you were talking
no,
about.
no, 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 no. That's later on. That's later on. No,
I'm
I'm
gonna
talking
say this.
about.
I'm gonna say this. I'm lost.
Okay,
But carry
Sorry.
on.
no, it's all good. It's all good. Once nerds start talking
The
Star Wars,
Yeah.
shit happens.
non-Star Wars fans
Yeah.
are in here.
Yeah, that's all good. So I'll, yeah, but basically, it and the only reason why I said I called Mortis a rift in space and time because of where it is. It's like another planet, whatever. But so I called it that just for the non-Star Wars fan. So basically, yeah, she died in a rift, and she came back because she got the Force. She became one with the Force for real, pretty much, like a different way. But uh, going back to what I was saying, she was actually you know, she did so much to become such a powerful character, and even now in the live action series, which Black, that's another series you need to watch. You need to finish The Mandalorian, and you also need to watch Ahsoka, because that one, you see some dope fights in that one. If you love a good fight, you gotta watch that, and you gotta check it out, because for real, there's one specific fight where she fights against and actually no, I think that's in an episode of The Mandalorian, or it's in the episode I can't remember exactly which episode it is. There's one though, she fights Morgan Elsbeth. I think that's in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I already
Such a
seen
good
that.
fight.
You talk about in the swamp?
Yeah,
Yeah, I seen that already. I seen that.
okay, you saw
Yeah.
that one. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So that was actually a really good fight. So, but you definitely should see Ahsoka, the series. So, but just going through such a great character. Again, Ahsoka, for me, one of the most powerful female characters in video game, comics, and just general television media, movies. She's not in official movies. She's in the Star Wars movie, but like he said, it was some shows put together and stuff. But movies and TV, very very good character. So, before we go into our list really quick though, once we go into our list, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up after that. Uh, before we go into our list, I wanted to actually go back to Dragon Ball. So, Ruby, you did mention Dragon Ball.
hmm
Um, it's so funny about Dragon Ball. So, did you pick up while watching Dragon Ball any of the strong female characters in there? Did you pick up anything about that? Because
Bulma, she is a woman of industry. Oh
and
my
And
see,
Chi-Chi.
goodness.
so and that's where I was going.
And Chi-Chi.
So that's the one thing that I noticed about Dragon Ball when I was younger. When I was watching, I say younger, I was still an adult when I was watching it. But um, the original Dragon Ball, I didn't watch when I was a kid. I watched it way older. But that's one thing I did notice about Dragon Ball that I loved is the majority of the female characters in there, even Bulma's mom, the majority of the female characters in there ran the show.
Ran
They
it.
ran the show, and
You
they ran circles. Come on, two of the most powerful people on the planet Earth, Vegeta and Goku,
Mm-hmm.
they got circles ran
aliens.
around them by their women.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
Yeah,
come
Bulma
on.
and Chi-Chi, man. Bulma and Chi-Chi. I'm trying
Those
to tell
two,
you.
look. Goku was straight taking like fists to the face from everybody, but as soon as Chi-Chi smacked him, he fell right over. Come on, come on.
Again, I started watching Dragon Ball before I watched Sailor Moon, and the funniest thing to me, especially if you watch Dragon Ball, when Goku's like a little kid
Mhm.
growing up on Earth, and he's going on these adventures. When you meet Chi-Chi, and her
Mhm.
father is the chief, she goes, "I want that boy. I want to marry that boy. That's going to be my future husband." She's like 12.
Yeah,
See
yeah.
this.
Yeah, but you know what? She got that
Made
boy
it
though. She
Yeah.
got that
Her,
boy.
Chi and Bulma, like what I loved about both of them and the representation is if you want it, go get it.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
Bulma was like, "Oh, I heard about these magical Dragon Balls, and I'm growing this company, and I
Yeah.
need these Dragon Balls to grow my company." And it was a little sexist, but these were the early episodes where she's like, "I'll do anything. I'll even show my
Yeah.
panties."
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Goku's like, "I want to see that.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
that nasty old thing away from me."
That was kind of wild. That was a little bit wilder,
Very 80s,
but
very 80s
Yeah,
oh,
there.
yeah,
for
they
sure.
crossed some lines, but they could get
Yeah.
away with it back then.
They could get away with it back then, but even in the
Mhm.
later episodes when she's, a woman,
Mhm.
married, kids, like she was still on top of the game.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like, okay, oh, another world-shattering event. Vegeta, go handle it.
Yeah.
I can't have this break my company. I can't have this take
Right.
my stock.
Yo,
Yeah,
she
exactly.
locked Vegeta down. How she locked Vegeta down? I ain't think nope.
I
Vegeta,
have
she
not
locked Vegeta
watched I have not watched the recent iteration of Dragon Ball. I think it's Dragon Ball Dama. I could
Uh-huh.
be saying it wrong, but I
I
saw a
heard of it.
clip on TikTok.
Mhm.
And again, world ending event, giant monster. And in Japanese, Bulma goes, "Vegeta, end this now." Or no. Vegeta's losing. He's losing the fight, but because he's so stubborn and hard-headed, he's like, "I'm gonna keep going until I die." And Bulma yells, "If you don't stop, you are not cuddling me tonight." And literally, he flies down and goes, "Goku, go handle this."
Oh no.
He's like, "Couch or my wife?"
Yeah.
My wife.
Yeah.
He should have did that whole Vegeta explosion thing. That's what
No, like literally, like he's in the air fighting, and like less than 60 seconds later, he's like, "Goku, go handles this."
That's hilarious. That is too funny. Okay. All right. Well, so we're getting close to wrapping up on time. So I wanted us to go ahead and finish up our list. Just do a quick run through of your list, starting with Ruby.
Okay.
Give me like 4 other characters that if you can think of 4, or if you already have 4, give me like 4 other characters that you find in I'm gonna say media now, but you can say comics or video games that you find are very strong female characters that appeal to you.
We briefly mentioned Amanda Waller.
Of course,
The way that her character has been growing. We don't have too much info on her, but the info we do have, I just love her to death.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go back to Sailor Moon.
Okay.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a Sailor Moon fan," but for me, it was Sailor Jupiter. She
Mm.
was the tallest girl in the group. She was a fighter.
Mhm.
She was strong, but she also had very soft attributes about her and this soft femininity. And she always kind of felt awkward in her own body because it's like everyone expects me to be this strong fighter, but I just want to be at home baking. But
That's
she
cool.
found a balance. As the show progressed, she did find a balance within the two, and I do love that for that.
Mhm.
So that's what, 3?
That was 3 actually.
3, yeah.
Yep. Mhm. So
And I think for my last one, I'm trying to remember her name.
was it the fight girl that you were talking about?
Yeah,
The show you
Andy.
want me to see?
Andy, yes.
Ooh.
If
Okay.
you have not watched it, it is on Max. They have not released any info about a season 2. Invincible Fight Girl. Her
Yes.
name is Andy. I'm just a quick run through. And also, if you're Caribbean or some type of South American, Afro-Caribbean, you're probably gonna feel connection.
Oh,
Quick
yeah.
run through. Small girl from a small island. Her family expects her to grow up to be an accountant. They expect her to have this sensible job, but she has dreams of entertainment and becoming a wrestler. And she finally tells her family, and with her family's support, she goes off to chase her dream. And she realized along the way in the journey, it's not as simple as she thought it was going to be. Please watch this show.
I started it and it is great.
If you love anime,
check it
if
out.
you love wrestling, Invincible Fight Girl is right up your alley.
Yeah.
I promise to start it within the next like 2 weeks. I promise I will start it. I told you when you were here that I was going to start it, and I haven't yet because I've told you all the other shows have been pissing me off. But anyway, I promise to start it in the next 2 weeks. I will. So, Oh yeah, that actually sounds really dope.
Can
All
I
right.
throw in a quick bonus? I want to cheat. I want
Sure,
to.
sure, yeah.
Okay, all right. So a bonus character. There is this brand new pilot. It is on YouTube for free 99. It is called Pretty Please I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. The main character is Aika, and the title is what it is. She does not want to be a magical girl. She is a magical girl, and she absolutely hates it. It takes the genre of magical girl and subverts it. I'm not going to spoil too much, but what I'll say is her transformation scene
Mhm.
is a blip.
Oh.
She does not. She's like, nope, let's get this over with. Her big magical transformation scene is a de-transformation because she's more excited to be a regular teenager than she is to be a magical girl.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, pretty please.
That's
I don't want to be a magical girl.
that's actually kind of yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, want to just be regular instead of like, man, this anyway. That's crazy. Like you would think like a teenager, she just wants to be a teenager. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, and that actually reminded me, you literally just reminded me of a show that I ought to look up to see if it's still on YouTube or if they're still behind the paywall or not. It was a YouTube show called Impulse that was based off of these books. It was based off of the Jumper series. The Impulse book was so good, and it was about what's his name's daughter. I can't think of his name at the moment, but the guy that Hayden Christensen played in Jumper is based off of his daughter. So I need to see if that's on there. So I got to remember that. Write a note to myself. Black, what you got for your ladies? Like I said, if you got 3 or 4, that'll work.
Okay, well, I got 3.
Mhm.
Real quick, I would say Senua from Hellblade. That's one.
Mhm.
And I'm going back to comic books and Marvel, and Psylocke is another one.
Oh, a
Yeah.
very, very good character.
Oh,
Very good
yeah.
character. Psylocke.
Good list.
Quick question though, Black. What do you think about Olivia Munn's portrayal of Psylocke? Did you see it?
I saw previews of it, and it's hard to tell from just the previews, but it looked like it was okay. It was all right. I mean, because a lot of people don't know about Psylocke. So,
Yeah.
as far as that being an introductory type,
Right. Yeah. And I liked it. I wish I saw more from her.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really wish I
Same.
saw more from her.
Yeah, she was the right actress for that character in the wrong movie.
Right. That is the perfect way of putting it. That is honestly the perfect way of putting it.
That's the reason why I haven't seen it, because I've heard so many bad things about it. Like the
Mhm.
movie itself.
It's a good bad. I mean, if you it's got some things about it that are good, but it's just that
That was
it
the
took a
end of
great
the
story.
trilogy, right?
Hmm?
That movie
Um,
that she was in, that was the end of the trilogy or the second one?
I think
It
that
was
was the
the
second one.
next to it was the next to last one because the
Next
one
to
after
last.
the one that was after that was even worse because
Because it was the Phoenix Saga
yeah, which they messed up again. By the
again.
same
Because they
director.
wanted 2.
Yeah, the same
Mhm.
director was supposed to go back. The same director that messed up the third movie.
Apocalypse, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
was
geez.
supposed to go.
I'm
Yeah, it was
sorry. Yeah.
Apocalypse, and then it was the one where they finally killed off Jennifer Lawrence because they couldn't afford to keep her.
Oh,
P-
she didn't want to
Uh,
do it
PTSD.
anymore.
Yeah,
Wow.
and she because they had her die of a wound that she survived in an earlier movie.
That's
I
crazy.
got
That is.
PTSD.
I mean,
Oh,
I didn't
sorry,
even
I
pay
got
attention to
PTSD
that.
it was just it
Apocalypse.
was like I
Oh my
forget that one.
gosh, that was a horrible
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, she got run through by Wolverine and survives. She gets run through by a stick and dies.
Yeah, I didn't even
Let
pay
me.
attention to the
I'm gonna
parallel.
say this. I'm gonna hold everyone's hand. If there is a Hollywood exec listening to this random podcast, stop making live action X-Men movies.
Thank you.
It don't work. We are talking
Well,
about
let's see.
meta-human people.
Let's see MCU. Let's see the MCU first.
They might Kevin
Hopefully,
Feige. Kevin Feige.
hopefully.
Like every other X-Men movie, but they just couldn't get it. Now
Sony, I blame
love,
you.
yeah, I love like
Yep.
what was it? Oh god, the one where they went into the future.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Oh yeah, Days of Future
Fox.
Past. That was
Days
the
of
best one.
Past was
Days of
great.
Future Past was the
Yeah.
best one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was the best
Yeah.
one.
They should have just stopped there. Like every time
Yeah,
they make an X-Men movie, they're like, "We gotta make it a trilogy." No, you don't.
No, you
yeah,
don't. No, you
yeah.
don't.
They had the perfect ending. They could have just stopped there, but
Right.
some coked out exec was like, more. I
The
need,
money.
I need a new force.
So Chris, Chris, let me get your 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
buddy, I got one
Or
more. That
3.
was only 2.
Oh, that was only 2. I'm sorry. I thought you did all 3. I'm sorry.
No, I did Cinema and Psylocke.
Oh, my
But
bad,
but
my bad. What
but
was the
real
actual
but real
one?
quick, this one is the future one. This was the
Mhm.
future one. I don't know how this game is going to turn out, but uh Chris Senior, you know where I'm going, right?
Yes, I
The
do.
Bayou, the
I'm
Bayou.
thinking
What's
about
the name of
buying
that
that.
game?
Yeah, I want to buy
What's the
that
name of the
movie.
game?
Oh God,
I
is
forgot
it
what it
something?
was.
Beast, the Southern Beast.
Yeah,
No,
that
it's
also is a
No.
good movie though. The
yeah.
Beast of the Southern Wilds
Yes,
was an excellent
yes.
movie.
It's
Um,
called
but it is
It's the
set
one
in
that
that
we just
same
got in the
place.
Xbox thing,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
that
the
was
Yeah.
Xbox Showcase. Uh,
Because I'm thinking about buying that early. The
Oh.
early. I don't usually do that, but the early word of mouth, and I really want to support that game.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Oh
yeah,
God, yeah.
I'm
No,
trying to look for it now.
I was
But
hooked at the artwork.
but go ahead, Christine. You go ahead while I'm looking for it.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna go back like in order, I guess, from the time that I encountered him. I got to go with Leia because I always thought, at least in the movie, I didn't like the way they kind of softened her up just a wee bit too much in the third movie, but she still
Mhm.
pulled it out in the end.
Mhm.
But then Eowyn from Lord of the Rings, who I've always liked that, especially in the movies when all of a sudden the Lord of the Nazgul was bragging about how he couldn't be defeated by a man, and she pulled off her helmet and stabbed it in the face and was like, "I'm not a man." Yeah, as you can
Yes,
see, I'm no
yes.
man.
Yep.
Mm.
And in more recent years, just recently there was a character that I really started liking from this animated series I saw called Scavenger's Reign,
Yep, that's the
and
one.
there was this character named
Oh my
named
goodness.
named Ozzy, played by One Mi Mosaku, who you would remember as being she was the lead. Oh God, if you've seen Lovecraft Country, she was great in that. But she was also in both Loki series, and she was the TVA agent, the
Yeah,
sister.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking
justice
about.
for Sovereign Reign.
Yeah. Oh, and she in Sovereign. They played this. It was about this science vessel that goes down on this planet, and basically it's about them trying to survive on this planet, but her relationship with the artificial or the robot that turned into an artificial intelligence, that she was her partner in that, and just her overall story arc was fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm almost positive I haven't seen that because that
Ah,
hasn't come to mind. So I'm
it's
almost
also
positive.
on
Oh yeah,
Max.
Yeah.
it's great.
They also got it on Netflix because Netflix is like, if you don't want it, we'll scoop it.
Yeah, and the team that did the animation for that has been working on that new series, Common Side Effects.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was.
All right.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
South of
Go
Midnight
ahead.
was the game that I was
Yeah,
South
I
of
was talking
Midnight.
about. I believe Ruby Rose started off because she said South of something.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
South of
yeah,
Midnight.
yeah. But that
So
was it. Yeah,
yeah,
South Midnight.
that's what's up.
Mhm.
So all right, let me I'm gonna go ahead and roll through mine, and then we're gonna go ahead and get ready to roll out because I do have a very very small child. I'm watching my grandnephew tonight, which is so weird to say grandnephew, but so and yeah, I can hear him getting riled up downstairs. So my 4 that I chose actually was Starfire,
Yes.
Talia al Ghul,
Yes.
Aloy, and it's Horizon Zero Dawn. I always mess it up, but it's Horizon Zero Dawn. There you go. And Jill Valentine. I
Yes,
love Jill
yes.
Valentine. Jill,
Jill's
Oh.
oh my
Valentine.
gosh, yes. I love Jill
Mhm.
Valentine. I love when they brought her back. I love the
Yes.
fact they brought her back. And I hope the next Resident Evil, if they continue to do more, brings her back again. I really hope
She'll
they
be
do.
back.
Yes, definitely. For real. So but Yeah, so again, I wanted to do this episode to kind of honor the women, and do it in honor of the women in my life, but also, just to honor all the different women characters all over the different game series, comic books, and even television series, because there's so many shows that we watch that are actually centered around women that is so good. I mean, we've already named so many different shows that we watched in anime, in regular TV, and all these movies, different things. So this episode is kind of a way of saying thanks, because it's just such good media that's surrounding all these women, and in honor of International Women's Day. Such good uh shows and everything, all kinds of media that you could actually find everywhere. So, and I'm truly happy and very thankful that we were able to get Ruby to join us for that. Thank you so much for this, for joining us.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
me. This is
Oh yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
always
for
wonderful.
sure. Yeah. Definitely got to have you back for something else. So be looking out for that in the future. I can't wait to have her back for again.
Yay.
Ruby, before we go, is there anything you want to go ahead and give out your socials or anything?
Oh yeah, please find me. It's Ruby Rose on most of my socials. um yeah, on most of my socials, it's Ruby Rose. Very active on Blue Sky. I'm active on Twitch. I have a backup page on TikTok.
I saw that.
It's Ruby Rose, duh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, please find me in those places. I stream on Twitch Monday through Wednesdays, 6ish until like 8 to 9 p.m.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And definitely watch her stream, because she's funny. I mean, she's a trip. She be tripping me out when I'm watching some of her streams. So you got to put, I think she did put some clips on her TikTok. So
I have.
I've
I'm
seen
trying to
some.
put more, but I'm also trying to
Yeah.
like play with editing software.
So yeah, if you can find her on TikTok, definitely give her a follow, and check out some of her clips from her streams, and check out her stream if you see it, because she is hilarious. So, Black, you got anything before we head out?
uh, nothing much. Just we appreciate the views. Appreciate Ruby for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Word. What about you, Chris? What you got?
Yeah, just like to thank everyone here, and especially you, Ruby. Thank you, because it's always a joy to, when you're here. So yeah, thank y'all so much for having me.
Word, yeah. And everyone, definitely look out. We're gonna be having our new logo up soon. I probably might give it a couple more episodes before we roll into it. Look out for our new logo. If you want to email us at toldmywifepodcast@gmail.com. You can actually follow us on Instagram at toldmywifepodcast. You can find us on Facebook. I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. You can subscribe to our YouTube page at I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills podcast. You can actually find me on TikTok at SlimTaurus78. And definitely, if you are following us on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts, please comment, give us a review, like, subscribe. If you know any other geeks, please share the podcast. We would love to get some feedback from everybody if you get the chance. So, but until the next one, and definitely please come back for the next one, because I can't wait. We're going to be talking about villains, but this isn't going to be like this type of villain podcast that we had before. We did have a villain podcast before, but this is going to be one basically talking about the rise of villains and how more people are siding with the villain. So I can't wait to do
It'd be
that one,
worst
because
time ever to do that.
yeah, well, I mean, hey, but
Luigi.
anyway.
I know exactly what
So,
she talking
okay.
about.
Yeah, so but
It's the
anyway,
wrong year.
please.
The next 4 years gonna be wrong.
But anyway, but anyway, we
Instant
don't.
fix it.
But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and cut it off here. And whether you're binging or button mashing, we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
See ya.